So aloha everybody. So I'm back. And it looks like I'm live. Okay. So let me know if you can hear me, okay? And leave your human design type and your profile, whatever other astro information you want to share. That would be great. So for some reason we have to repeat this. Or not we, me. I have to repeat it. My voice was not being heard. Okay. So this is all about the new moon coming up on December the 12th next week. And it's an important one. That's what I see. Okay. So it's in the 26.4 and right there. It's coming off there. So it's coming off the willpower center. And then what's really interesting, because we always want to look at where if a channel's being made. So the 2644, it's the channel of surrender. It's the design of a transmitter. So the channel of the transmitter, this 2644. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a little collective read and then more bring it down to the individual, right? So remember that we're in a matrix program. This is a simulation that we live in, right? You can call it Maya. That which is not, it's the illusion that we're living in, and it's programmed basically by 70% of neutrinos. Neutrinos are subatomic particles that carry weight. It's the information field we live in, but it's also the ancient term prana or chi, right? It's the exhale of the stars. That would be a poetic way of describing the neutrinos. So the neutrinos leave an imprint, and that's where this chart comes from. So you have your own imprint in your natal chart. So you always go below. You want to have your human design type during this time that we're in. We're in crazy change. And I was reading the other day, the founder of human design said it's not for everybody. It's for a small percentage of the population. So if you found it, you're very, very blessed, right? To be able to have this information. And this connects you to your true, authentic power, right? It's all about power. It's reclaiming your power during this time. And remember that 2027 is a big year. This is when a 400-year cycle comes to an end and a new one begins, right? So this is why we're seeing all this change out in the world. So the imprint will show us kind of the themes that are happening for this new moon, right? So we'll want to start off. Let's start off first about this, the 26. This is the gate of the trickster. It's the gate of the trickster. Now it's tribal, right? It's tribal. So there's collective, and there's individual circuitry, and this is tribal, right? And we've got to look at the world. We're still in Pluto in Capricorn. We've been there since 2008, right? And then it's coming to Aquarius. Pluto's coming into Aquarius in 2024, next year, January 20th, just before the human design new year, when the sun goes into the 41st hexagram, right? So Capricorn, right? Aquarius, and so Capricorn is like the pyramid. It's hierarchy, right? It's hierarchy. So we are still in tribal consciousness in a sense on the planet, because there's the tippy top of the pyramid, right? And these are the people that hold the purse strings that kind of control the rest of humanity. I'm speaking from a mundane level. I'm not speaking from a spiritual level, because nobody has control over anybody. That's an illusion, but we're in the mundane right now, right? So this is still tribal, right? This is still a tribal consciousness, right? And it's in Capricorn, and it's not going to leave until 2024. And then it stays in Aquarius until September, right? For a couple months, and then it goes back to Aquarius for 20 years. So the battle's on, is what I'm trying to say, because this consciousness is not going to go into that good night, right? Gently go off into that good night. Now it's going to fight and cling because this 2644, this is the fear of extinction. So it's the fear of this old tribal way going away, where we get to rule the masses. We get to do our thing and not really contribute anything to the rest of the world, and kind of be the parasites of the labor, right, of the bottom of the pyramid, and benefit that way, right? There's a deep fear of this extinction. Remember, they're just playing their part spiritually. So the 26, right, it's the transmitter. Whoops. It's the transmitter, but it's about selling something. The 26 is about selling something to move the tribe and progress them along to where you want them to go, right? So we've got this 26, and then we've got the 45. So this is the theme of this new moon. And the 45 are like the rulers. They're the kings. They're the ones that hold the purse strings. So not like King Charles, but the archetype of the king, right? So this is the propaganda. The 26 is the propaganda, and it's selling something, right? So it's in the fourth line. It's in the moon, right? See the 0.4? That gives us more information. And this is, we're going to give you some truth, right? We're going to give you some truth, but we're not going to give you all the truth. We're not going to give you all the truth. We're going to hold some things back because we want you to move this way, right? We want you to move this way. And so this could be, well, let's go into the rest of the chart here, and we'll get what this message will probably be for us, right? Okay. So to progress along and to prevent this fear of extinction, right, with the transmitter. So if we look at, and what else is really interesting is, well, let's go to the star, right? The star is, right, the star here is Sagittarius. It's the 26.4, but it's in the zodiac sign of Sagittarius. It's also opposing Jupiter. So there's Jupiter, the 27, the gate of caring, is opposing Venus, which is in that 44, right? Which is in that 44.3. So is that right? Yeah, 44, 27 and 44, right? So this 27.5, okay? So this is like our beliefs, it's the law, right? It's what's acceptable in our society, and it's in the 27.5, the gate of caring. So wherever you have a 0.5, there's a projection field onto this. So what are we projecting here? Is that they really care about us, right? They really care about us. They have our best interests in mind, this 27.5. Now, there's a lot of deceit here. There's seduction, right? The fifth line is the seducer. So the example that was used for this 27.5 was in New York City, the example was there was this organization, and we're taking care of this nonprofit. We're taking care of the children and receive the donations, because the 27.5 is about doling the resources out, right? So they received the donations, but then they pocketed it, right, for their own interests, and then they starved the children. Basically, they didn't feed the children. So that would be the 27.5. Oh, they care so much, but then you look behind the curtain, what's really going on? So this is coming. So we're seeing this kind of the deception. And how do we know? Well, it's opposing, this is our values, Venus, right? It's our values. It's also about money too. Resources, our relationships, right? And there it is in the 44.3. And this is, I smell a rat. This is the inner sniffer. You got the inner, the eye, the third eye, you got your inner ear, and then with the spleen, you got the inner sniffer. I smell that something's off here. I smell a rat. It's instinctual, right? The spleen is very instinctual, and it's ancient, right? So there it is opposed with this 27.5 coming at you, maybe from this 26, right? We really care. We really care about humanity. We have their best interests in mind, right? And then this 26 is you're not getting the full truth, and that you're projecting, right? Most of the world will be projecting on this, right? But as opposed to this 44, something's off. You want to trust this, your instincts, right? Not be trusting your two eyes with Neptune, not budgeting even a second, right? Until December 12th. And then it's going to start to move forward slowly, Neptune. And then there's going to be a reveal. The other thing that's really interesting too is you see Mercury here and the 58.5 down here off the root, right? So Mercury's going retrograde hours after the new moon, hours after the new moon. So look at the placement it's in. 58.5, another more projection. And it's basically that they can fix it. They can correct this thing. They've got the energy to do this. I'm wiping my hands, right? Let them do it. They can fix it, right? So look at this retrograde 58.5. Let's go back in time. Let's go back to January 12th, 2020, right? So there we've got, remember, this was the great Pluto and Saturn and Mercury and the Sun all conjunct, right? They're all in the 61. This is inner truth, hidden, right? Hidden inner truth. This was the mass formation, hypnosis. That's when this started with Pluto in the 61, right? 2020. So this was the beginning of the 7-year cycle that ends in 2027, right? Okay, so you're like, okay, so what? Well, look where Jupiter is, 58.6. Look where the South Node is, 58.5. That's where Mercury is right now, right? And going retrograde, this means something's going to be revealed that was hidden from us from the past, right? And then Jupiter, the law, right? The law. This was like, they'll fix it, right? They'll fix it. They'll correct it. They've got the energy to do this. All we have to do, 952, right? This is the channel of concentration. We just sit still. We don't leave our houses. We just do whatever they say, right? 58. We just do whatever they say. They'll correct it. Well, this Mercury retrograde is going to reveal, because it's going back over that South Node, right? What happened in 2020? We're going to get more truth. So I'm sure a lot of you out there can probably guess what we're going to be receiving, but it's going to be en masse, So that's really interesting, that 58.5. And what else do I want to say? Okay. So remember, it's always, as we go back to this trickster, right? This is the propaganda to move the tribe along, move humanity along to where we want them to go. This is the manipulator. This is the exaggerator, right? So with tribal consciousness, they got, this, they don't move very fast. If somebody's entrenched in tribal consciousness, they don't want to change. They want business as usual. So there's no creativity in the tribe. That's the individual, right? This means there's nothing new under the sun with the tribe, like no creativity. So what do they bank on, right? To manipulate the tribe to go their way is new and improved. Whenever you see that, oh, it's new and improved, right? It's for your safety and security, SS. It's for your SS, right? We really care about you, the 27.5. Just do what we tell you to do, right? This is a big red flag. You're being manipulated, and you want to tap into that 44. I smell a rat, right? Because this is memory. This is about the past, right? It's about the past, and you don't have to go far back into the past. You just need to go back to 2020. What happened in 2020? It's going to be a repeat of that, but it's going to be a new and improved version. right? So this is what that's showing us. And what else did I want to share? And it's coming from this fear of extinction. So this is desperation to hold on to power. Oh, it goes to the 10 of Wands. So I didn't pick this intuitively, right? This is 26.4, right? This is the correlates to the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands. So weary, right? This is spiritual. So humanity's feeling this too. It's like, how much more can we take? How much farther do we need to go? How to persevere with this energy? Well, he's almost home. Do you see that? There's a little castle in the forest and the trees, and right? There's comfort, there's home. He's almost there, right? He's almost there. So this is weary and tired, right? Tired and burdened, right? Holding on to the stress, the inflation and the contraction and the losses. And can I go on, right? This is the 10 of Wands, correlates to the 26.4. And it's saying to push on, right? Don't give up. Don't give up. Keep persevering. You're almost there, right? We've got till January 20th. Pluto and Aquarius, things will really start shaking and rocking right next year, because this 58, I believe it's I'm going to do a New Year's webinar, so keep that in mind. I'm going to, I'll announce it after the online retreat this weekend, but I'm pretty sure one of the placements is 58, and this is all about having the energy, because you think you're all alone. I'm the one holding these 10 of Wands. Nobody in my life is carrying this, right? This burden. Well, the 58 is like, no, as a collective, we're going to start to wake up, right? To wake up. And it's like, yeah, we've got the strength. What's the strength? To channel authority, confront authority. That's the 18. To look around. Oh, there's others like me, right? There's others like me. We can challenge authority. There's a chance for true freedom on this planet for everybody, not just the tippy top of the pyramid, right? So bottom line, okay, and so look at this. This is the baseline of the chart. Remember, I talked about this last time. It's the observer again. So this is unusual. It's never just the same for this long. It flips around day by day, right? And so remember that you're the passenger. Your vehicle is this limo, right? Maybe your limo's got some dents on it now, or you change the color of it and stuff, right? But this is what you're living in, your temple. And then the driver is your monopole. That's your magnetic monopole. So this is moving you, which was kind of illusion, moving you through time and space. And this is what you surrender to. And then you're in the back seat, just chilling, right? Enjoying the ride, looking out the window. So just because it's an observer, because sometimes it's another motivation, right? Where it's time to act, but this is like, no, it's not time to act right now. It's just time to observe and let the fog lift, right? December 12th is when Neptune starts to move, gets out of stationary direct and starts moving. And this means that fog's going to start clearing, and you're going to see clearly. Because again, look, you got 0.3, look, boop, 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 boop. There's not even a 1. There's no 0.1. So that means no getting to the foundation of anything during this new moon. And there's no 0.6. There's no completion here. It's like you can't see into the future. The 6 lines are all about looking into the future. The 6 lines are all about mutation and change. So we're still in this energy, right? Not over yet, right? 10 of Wands, keep walking. It's not, you may feel a little bit of relief with Neptune at a retrograde and some relief, but it's not over yet, right? It's not over yet. It always reminds me in Lord of the Rings, right? Remember when Gandalf was fighting that big monster? what was that monster's called? Mal, begins with an M, right? Remember, he's at the rest. He's got the whip, right? And then the monster grabs the whip. The Balrog is going down, down, down into the fires. And what was Gandalf's mistake was he turned his back on it, right? And then up came the whip and grabbed him, Gandalf, and grabbed him down with them. It's like you got to watch, right? So it's about get to the end. Don't be, oh, we're done now. You're not done. We're not even close to being done. Okay. Okay. So I think I'll go into the types next, and then we'll focus on one of the planets for each type. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I'm just looking at some comments, everybody. Okay. Thank you, Present Day Yoga. Love your transmission so much, Satnam. Thank you. Of course, you're an Aquarius moon. Okay. How still do we need to be from December 8th to the 12th tomorrow? Yeah. Well, rumple long hair, like this isn't I want to honor your individual, right? Because I'm a pure individual. So you want to go to your strategy and authority, but you don't want to be making any big decisions now because Neptune is direct. It's going to be direct until the 12th. It's direct right now. Right? Because you don't what's activated right now. I don't have the present day chart, but remember the 35 and the 36 pulled into like, there's a better option over here. The grass is green over here. I'm going to take this risk and I'm going to get sucked into this experience, right? So you just want to get into your strategy and authority. That's what I would suggest to you. Like always go there first. Okay. Okay. So let's do the types. And so what I do here, you can see there's a die and it's got planets, the planets in the node. So I roll the die and then up comes a planet, and then we'll focus on one of the planets for you, for your personal reading message. Okay, so this is the generators. So let me just pick or roll the die and let the divine pick. Okay, what do we have for our generator friends? What do our generator friends need to know? Generator friends have Neptune. Neptune here. So remember, as a generator, you are 35% of the world because you got all this juicy generator energy right here at the sacral, right? You're generating life force energy. So you want to be fulfilled. That's what you want. Filled, right? Filled with satisfaction. Especially at the end of the day, this has to do with your work, right? It has to do with your work. And you don't want to be feeling frustrated. So when you're not listening to your sacral that says yes or no, not actually yes or no, but it's no, you'll know you're a generator, right? So the generators I talk to, I'm a projector. So I have no idea what this is like personally. They say they feel like their sacral is pulling them into an experience, or they feel like, no, right? They're repelled by the experience. This is what you can count on. The mind, no, you can't count on that. So this is your biggest challenge, is to obey this, your sacral, and stop listening to your mind. So your aura is open and enveloping. You're the soft, fuzzy, right? Teddy bear aura. Everyone loves to be in the generator aura, especially when they're feeling fulfilled. And they respond, right? They respond. So life's always bringing them things to respond to, moment by moment, moment by moment. So when you're operating correctly, right, you get to where you need to go as the passenger. There you are, a little generator. You're responding to everything, right? Yes or no. And then you bring the right people into your life. You bring the right experiences into your life that are correct for you. Okay, so let's go back to the chart. And so Neptune for this new moon, there it is off the solar plexus, the 36. So this is the gate of crises. Whoops, I want to get back to the generator here. So this is the gate of crises, right? Right there. And the Neptune placement, and it's in the third line. So this is really, now it's not activated, right? It's not colored in, but if you have a colored in solar plexus generators, if you're an emotional generator, if this is colored in, your authority is automatically emotional. Then this is going to get activated for you, this Neptune energy. And remember, the Neptune's moving direct now, right? It's moving direct. So I would say here with the 36.3, and this is the most powerful wave, the solar plexus, right? Each number here corresponds to a wave, like how the wave works, right? In the solar plexus, this is the most powerful wave, right? This is rooted to like sexuality. It's about penetration, right? It's about penetration. It's about like driven, right? Emotionally driven to have a human experience, right? Generators don't like to sit still. They've got all that energy revving up, right? And thereafter, it's not about the person per se. This is what people need to understand, with especially with that 36, 35. They think, oh, it's about the person. It's nothing to do with the person. It's all about the experience. I want this experience, and it doesn't really matter about the person, right? I just want the experience. I want that experience. So this is a powerful drive, right? And so it's the third line. So it's directly connected to the material world with the third line, right? And it's trial and error. Okay. So it's about learning through crises. So you may or may not, with this new moon, attract a crisis to you, an emotional crisis to you. And is this a bad thing? Does it mean I'm doing something wrong because I attracted a crisis? Not necessarily, because we learn, right? Third lines are all about learning and discovering what doesn't work, right? What doesn't work. So you know what? I responded yes. This has happened to people, right? Well, I responded yes. My sacral said yes to this experience, but I attracted this crazy crisis to me, this emotional crisis, this drama in my life. Well, at the end, you want to say, because it's a third line, it's like, well, what did you learn? Right? We learn through crises, that third line, because it's the third line, right? We're learning, you're making discoveries. What did you learn didn't work? Oh, what didn't work? Right? And then you start to reflect on that, right? And we just got out of we're still in the fifth, right? The fifth gate is activated in the sun. Well, I went against my rhythm, right? I learned so much about my natural rhythm, and I went against my rhythm. And I attracted this crisis to me. Well, what did you learn? Well, I'm not going to disobey my rhythm again. That's for sure. Or my heart opened. Crises, it's rooted to Christ consciousness, right? Well, my heart shattered open. I had such a, right? This is what happens with us when we attract situations and people into our life so that we can open up that heart, right? So that we can open up that heart. That crisis shattered my heart open. It was really, really painful, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. You know, the point is you can't judge, right? You can't judge your experiences you're having because, right, that magnetic monopole, It's attracting to you exactly what you need for your destiny, right? For your destiny path, right? We've got karma with people, and there's things that we need to learn in this incarnation. It's just, don't be arrogant to think that you know, that we're not supposed to have like this total easy ride. Like, yeah, you can be the passenger chilling, but you're still going to have your experiences, your human experiences. And often that's about shattering our hearts open right now. A friend of mine last night, I'm just thinking of this, it's probably for you generators, said like the best selling book on the planet right now. You never guess what it is. It's by Rumi, right? The Sufi poet. And Rumi's always talking about the heart, right? It's always talking about the heart. That was uplifting for me to hear that. I was like really surprised. Shows you that we're awakening, right? Okay, so what else do we want to say about this 36.3 in Neptune? And it's in Neptune, so you've got no control, right? Whenever you see Neptune, you've got no control. And just know, if you're attracting crises in your life right now, it's to open up your heart, because that's the way in. That's the way into spirit, right? Is your heart, your sacred heart. So you got to open it up wide, because it gets broken when we're children, right? And then we shut down and close down. So it will change you, right? It's going to mutate you. It will mutate you. So maybe that's what's coming for generators, right? And the new moon, some of you, the ones that are on my fractal line, right? And it's to get you the change, and it's to get you to adapt with the third line, right? And then you go through that change, and you're not the same. You're not the same person when you come out of this experience, whatever it is. And maybe you're in it now, maybe you're coming to the tail end of it now. I don't know, right? It's your life. Yeah. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's just, you got Neptune on your side, right? So surrender. It's about surrendering to your experience. Whatever you're in, that's what I wanted to say about generators. Generators, when they get pulled into an experience, they've got to be there sometimes for 7 years. They've got to go through the whole cycle of experience until its end. And if they try to get out of it, like go to a better offer or escape, right? What happens is the universe just recreates everything again, but it's like a different person, different scenario, but it's the same frequency, right? So you got to look at like, the universe is on my side, right? The universe is benevolent. The universe is generous for my healing. And it's all about getting me to be my authentic self. And that means I have to open up my heart. You can't be authentic and not have an opened heart, right? Not truly. Okay. Anything else for the generators? Oh, I love how things just come. 36. The other advice is to allow yourself to get overwhelmed, right? This is the fear of the mind, right? To get, oh, I will die, or I'll be ashamed if I get emotionally overwhelmed, especially if you're one that's been in control of your emotions all of your life, is to let yourself get overwhelmed, right? Just surrender to it. Neptune, let it dissolve all the pain. Take this pain away. Take the past away, right? Because this 26.4, this is about forgetting the past, right? Personally, right? It's about forgetting your past, letting go of the past. That's a big new moon theme. So I feel like you're really supported, generators, in this work. Forgetting the past, right? So we can forget it mentally, right? The images, the mental images. But what's left over are the emotions, right? So all you have to do is the F word, and that's feel. Is feel the emotions, and let Neptune help you dissolve, right? Dissolve those emotions. And come to my online retreat. If you need some help, this is a deep, 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 deep let go about these old identities. Okay. So that's what I have for generators. That's it, eh? Yeah. So let's go for the manifestors. Right there. We'll go to manifestors on next on the list. Okay. Manifestor. So the manifestors are only 9% of the world. 9% of the world. Generators. Okay, manifestors. I want that to stay. So they've got a closed and repelling aura, and they're here to inform. That's their strategy, and then they initiate. So only 9%. But most of the other types are trying to be a manifester, right? So when they don't operate correctly, they get angry or depressed, right? Or depressed, but they want to feel at peace. That's the manifestor's dream. I just want to feel at peace. I want to be left alone. I don't want people causing problems for me, right? So one of their biggest challenges is to set boundaries. It's a manifestor. Okay. So let's see what we got for our manifestor friends for this new moon. I'm going to roll a die with the planet, and then we'll focus on the planet for the manifestor friends. What do we have for our manifestor friends? What do they need to know for this new moon? They got Venus. Venus right there. Venus. Okay. So Venus for the manifestors. So right away, we're talking about their relationships, right? We're also talking about their self-value, right? Self-value. Relationships, self-value, self-worth, Venus in the 44.3. This is what's important to you. What's this transit going to activate for you? And it's part of this channel, right? So you want to go back and watch the beginning of this video. This is the channel of the transmitter. So the 44, right, is the fear, has to do with memory. And it's the fear of the past. So fear of past catching up with you. Fear of the past for the manifestors. So right away, it can make you a little gun shy right there. That's what I see with this. And it's also opposing Jupiter for this new moon, right? So the 44.3, let's just grab this first. Venus. So it can be the past is like a fear of failure when it comes to like your money, right? Your self-worth and your money, self-value, they all go together, manifestors, and your relationships. So what else was I going to say about this? So it's interference. The third line here is interference. Let's go that route. The blue one. So it's interference. It's called, right? So this is the gate of the coming to meet. So it's about your relationships. Not just relationship, it's relationship. So it's plural. And this is a fear because on the other end of this is the 26. So let's talk a little bit about this dynamic with the 44. There's the fear of another person's willpower that's trying to manipulate you, right? So there's the manipulator on the other side, trying to do their mind trip on me, right, as a manifester. And there's a fear that I'll be overpowered by their willpower. I'll give my power over to them, right? So this is like the 44-26 dynamic. It's like riding a horse, like you're riding a horse. So this is the willpower. Willpower is the horse. It's just a motor, right? And so there's the 44 jumping on the horse. They jump on the horse, and then it freaks them out. All this willpower, the power, 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 power. And then they jump off, and then they reject, right? They reject that willpower. But what else they're doing as manifestors is you're rejecting your own willpower, right? Your own willpower. Okay. So that's what I see there with the 44.3 is you're denying that you have any power. Like you're a manifester. Everybody, every type wants to be a manifester. They want to manifest. You have this gift from the divine to manifest when you inform and initiate. Right? So there's this fear of willpower that you'll be powered over, or you fear your own power. What will happen when I really let my power, when I really claim my power, right? For this new moon with this 44.3, it's going to bring change, right? It's the third line. It will bring change. What kind of change will it bring? Well, it's going to bring, this is your impact, right? Manifestors this is what they long for. It's how do I impact that group? How do I impact that relationship, right? What kind of impact do I have? Right? Especially if your ego, if you got, the willpower defined, I use the ego in a different way. That's part of the mind. Okay. So what kind of impact do I have? And why do I fear my willpower? Maybe you saw this power being abused in the past, right? Maybe a family member, if you go back to childhood manifestor, you saw somebody abusing that willpower. And then the thing is, as children, we make these vows like, I'll never abuse my power like that my parent did, or another caregiver, right? Or this person, this authority figure in my life. That's what I see as you're claiming back your power, your willpower. So not to be afraid of it, because it's the third line, right? Don't be afraid of it and jump off of it and pretend that you're not a manifester, basically, right? So it can make you cautious, right? It can make you cautious in who you come to meet, who you let into your life, right? So to me, because I mentioned the boundaries are really important. Boundary setting for manifestors is to trust yourself. I have the willpower to set a boundary when needed, right? So this is really a time to start claiming your power, because what's going to happen, manifestors, is, right, as a manifestor, yeah, you're chilling, but you're listening for divine inspiration, right? And then this magnetic monopole is going to bring to you, right? Bring to you these experiences that bring out your power, that test you, right? Test your power. So you've got to look at life like that, right? It's just one big spiritual test after another for the manifestors. And this is something you value just because it's in the Venus position here. So you can use this energy, right? And this is how you deal with people. Oh, this person's trying to manipulate me. They're trying to sell me something and it's full of it. I'm getting a bad vibe from it. Set your boundary, right? Set your boundary. Don't be afraid of using your willpower. No, right? When you speak no, manifestor, from your navel, there's a lot of power there. Then if you're just saying it from your throat, if you say it from your throat, it's like maybe, but maybe you can cross my line. When you speak no from your navel, then people are going to listen to that, right? People will listen to that. Okay. So, just with the 44 is to trust your instinct, right? The instincts that you have about people, because it's coming from your body, right? Not your mind, right? Just to trust that. That's what I see there for the manifestors. Okay. Trust your instincts, set a boundary, and you start using your willpower. You start using it. We all need this message actually to start using our willpower aligned with our spirit, not aligned with our ego. Okay. Anything else for the manifestors? Oh, just because it's opposing. Remember, I talked about at the beginning. The Venus is opposing Jupiter for this new moon, so don't get caught up in this either. Right, the 26 manipulating you through. Oh, I really care about you. Right, I really care about you. They've got the nice talk and everything. Don't believe you can't see this. The 27.5 is hiding. They don't care. They've got another agenda, right? So trust the spleen that will be activated for you, your instinct, and then go to your divine guidance, right? Your divine guidance. And share, inform. This doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't smell right to me. I smell a rat. Something's off here, right? Okay. Okay, that's it for manifestors. Okay, so let's go for the MGs, the manifesting generators. And so this is all about the new moon MGs. And so you see the die, it's got little planets on it. So roll the die for the MGs. And then whatever planet comes up, I'll focus on for a specific message for the manifesting generators. If you want to listen to the beginning, it's more like of a collective read of the chart, the new moon chart. Okay, so what do we got for our manifesting generator friends? What do they need to know for this new moon? Mercury. The MG's got the little Mercury there, right there. Okay. So like the generators, they've got the teddy bear aura, open and enveloping, right? But their teddy bear aura is like moving around a lot, right? They've got a lot of energy. They got this sacral colored in, and then they've got one of these channels going straight up to the throat. So and this is all about their life force energy, right? So they're generating the waves that we live in on this planet. So the open and enveloping aura, and they're here to respond with a yes or no, right? Yes or no from their sacral. And when they're not operating correctly, meaning they're listening to their crazy mind and not their sacral, they're going to feel frustrated, angry, depressed, and they want to feel fulfilled, manifesting generators. They want to be using that energy for good, right? For good, so that they get that fulfillment, satisfaction from the way they use their energy. Okay. So they've got the 58.5 here. And I talked, if we go back to 2020, January 12th, when we had the big conjunction of the Pluto, Saturn, Mercury, Sun conjunction. Well, the South Node was in that 58.5. Mercury's gone retrograde on the 12th. And so we're going to have a reveal what happened in 2020, right? This is the 7-year cycle, the start of the 7-year cycle. Look, it's in January as well, right? It's January 21st, 22nd. It's the Human Design New Year when the sun is in the 41, right? So something will be revealed about this 58.5. This was mass formation hypnosis, right? 61. The start of that, like we're global wide. This is hidden, inner truth hidden. Okay, so let's look at this 58 down here, back to the new moon chart. So we're going to have a little echo of the past, right? Of this 58.5. So the 58 is the joyous. Whoops, I want to get back to the year thing right here. Right? So this is the gate of the joyous. This is like the vitality, right? It's about your health, how good you're feeling. Okay. So it's in Mercury. So it's about our thinking and communication, what we're communicating about. And there it is in the 58. So you've got to look over to the 18, right? This is fear of authority, right? Fear of authority. So the 18, right? The whole channel is the channel of correct what's spoiled. The 58 is about I have the energy, right? I have the energy to confront authority, right? The abuse of authority. I have the energy to confront that because you do need that, right? So, just something. Okay. So, what you're talking about, what you're thinking about. So, maybe this new moon, you're being called to do that. This could be just something like we bring it to your individual life, that there's some kind of authority figure that you're being called to challenge, right? And it's a fifth line. And so, whenever you see a fifth line, you can't really see. You can't, it's a projection field, right? So you could be projecting on that person that, oh, they've got all this energy to confront authority, right? Or they don't, right? Or they don't. They'll just put their tail between their legs and they'll take off, right? But it's a projection. So it's outward. You're projecting something on somebody else, right? So you want to watch this because manifesting generators, this is not a time to give your power away. This is not the time to give your power away because the 58.5 from 2020 is like, they'll do it. They're the experts, right? They know everything. They'll take care of it. They'll fix what's created, right? Meanwhile, the 952 was activated on January 12th. 2020, all we have to do is stay still. That's the channel of concentration. Just do what we're told, right? We'll stay in the house. We'll do this. We'll do that. Just as a collective experience, right? So we want to be learning. So this new moon may be a repeat of what was going down for you in 2020, right? What was going down with this theme, this 58.5. Because it was in the South Node, right, in 2020. So what am I letting go of? What's coming to the surface now, right? What didn't I let go of in 2020? And it's going to be around this, giving your power over to someone else with the 58.5. Okay. And also let's bring it back to you because it's individual to you, right? So maybe somebody's projecting this onto you because you're the MG, right? You've got tons of energy as a manifesting generator, tons of energy. And so people are projecting onto you. Well, you can fix it, right? You can correct this for us. You do it for us. You confront authority for us. We'll just sit back and not do anything. Well, as a fifth line, and maybe you have this natally, well, it's called defense, which means no, I can't do that for you, right? It's not correct for me. My sacral is saying no, right? My sacral is saying no, sorry. And they can be flattering you up the yin yang, trying to manipulate you, right? This 26, trying to get you into the mind. Remember, you can't manipulate your energy, but you can manipulate your mind. Right? That's the only thing that gets manipulated is the mind, right? They're flattering you and you're so good and you're that, but they want your energy, right? They want your energy. Remember, it's an energy game right now. So you're saying, no, this is your defense. No, it's not correct for me. My sacral saying no. That's all you have to say. And then you can unpack the details later. My sacral saying no, right? It's that easy. So you can get into all kinds of trouble if you're believing the manipulation and you're saying yes with your mind, your sacral saying no. but you believe that, you can get into all kinds of trouble, all kinds of situations that drain your energy, and you feel frustrated. You're going at home at night, you're exhausted, you're tired, you're frustrated, you feel stuck. It's another MG term. I feel stuck. I can't get out of this. I feel trapped, right? So just to be aware of this with this 58.5 in this position, right? What else? Well, the other thing too, I should mention, like a good thing, is so people will be trying to tap into that energy for you from you. But if it's so interesting, right? Because this is the MGs, they got the most conditioned mind out of all the types, the manifesting generators and generators. And it's so interesting to the mind, this project, because it's trying to seduce you, the fifth line, right? Seduce you into this cause, right? And it's so interesting to me that I jump in anyway. I don't listen to my navel. I jump in anyway. Well, the great thing with the line of defense will work for you. Now, if you were a generator, you'd be trapped in it. You get into this interesting trip, and you're in. You got to complete the cycle. You have to complete the cycle of experience. But the MGs, they can put their toe in. They can show up that day. Maybe they get offered this amazing career, being an advocate for some great cause in the world, right? They go the first day, and their navel is screaming, no, this is not right, right? This is not right for me. It's not for, well, you can pull away, right? That's the great thing about the MGs. They can put their foot in, but then they get their foot out. And they don't get trapped in that experience with that 58.5. So you only want to respond to things that are worthy of your energy, right? So it's really important for the MGs is not to be throwing their energy around. So imagine your energy is money, right? Your energy source is money. So you got a big basket of money, right? You got a huge basket of money. Would you go outside, right, in public, and there's the wind is coming and the bills are flying, $100 bills are flying everywhere. People are grabbing them, grabbing the money. Well, that's what you do with your energy, right? When you're not defensive, you're not defending your energy, you're not protecting your energy, right? So just consider that. It's like, oh, it's like my money, it's my currency. Well, I'm gonna protect it. I'm gonna keep it in my wallet, right? Keep it in my bag, right? Keep it safe. Well, the same thing with your energy. I'm only gonna spend my energy on worthy causes, and your sacral will let you know what's correct for you, what's worthy, truly worthy for you, where you feel that fulfillment. I feel so fulfilled, like I'm on purpose, I'm on mission, right? As an MG. Okay. Okay. Anything else for the manifesting generators? Well, if even like, okay, so let's say you make a mistake. Manifesting generators make mistakes all the time because they're racehorses, right? That's called skip steps. They're always taking shortcuts, right? Skipping steps, missing details, right? Especially with that Mercury retrograde on the 12th, right? Skipping steps, missing things. I got to go back and do things. That's typical of the manifesting generators. You really need to have a to-do list, right? You need to have a shopping list. You got to write things down. We're talking Mercury right now. Is even if you do enter into something that's so-called wrong for you, right? You're going to learn. Oh, I was frustrated. Well, you're going to learn, right? It's about learning right now. It's like, that did not work for me. That did not work for me. And you can backpedal, right? You can backpedal. But what did I learn? I'm never not going to listen to my sacral. My sacral really is my friend. I'm rubbing it every night, telling it I love it, right? Because it's keeping me on the right path. It's keeping me on purpose, keeping me in fulfillment, right? As an MG. Anything else for the MGs? No, that's it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So have a good new moon, MGs. And let's go for the projectors. So what I got here, projectors, is a die with planets on it. I'll roll the die for you, and up will pop a planet, and then we'll focus on that particular planet placement for your message. So projectors, you want to be watching the whole video, because your duty is to help others, help the other types. It's part of what it means to be a projector. It's part of your contract. As you coming in as a projector is to help the other types, right? And to understand the other types. Okay, so the projectors have the focused and absorbing aura. They need to be recognized by others, right? And it's got to be sincere. It's got to be authentic. And then they're invited, right, to help, right? And if they're not invited and they're not recognized and they're spouting off something, it could be gems, it could be pearls, but nobody wants to hear it. Their aura is closed to you, where you're going to feel bitter, right? So that's that bitterness in your, the resentment, right? The bitterness, the taste of bitterness in your mouth. That's, you're not operating correctly and you want to feel success. And that's when you get recognized, you're invited, and then the other type opens up their aura and, yes, please help me, help guide me. I so appreciate you. I value you. That's success for a projector. Okay. So projectors have that sacral, but it's wide open. So they don't have the life force energy that the MGs and the generators have. So what do we have for our projector friends here? What do we need for the new moon for our projector friends? What do they need to know? Saturn, everybody's favorite. Mr. Saturn. Okay. So, Saturn. So where's Saturn? Saturn is right here, right? 55.2. And it's right there up the solar plexus. And this is huge because it's getting mutated for 2027. It's a huge part of our solar plexus mutation that we're going through. And since 1961, with the equinox, we've been in the 37.1 theme of 37.1. And then in 2027, we move into 55.6. This is, everything will be changing. This will be like the new theme. I talk about this in my Sleeping Phoenix 7.5 hour webinar series in depth. Well, more than this, but all of it. Okay, so 55.2. So this is spirit, right? It's the gate of spirit. It's the gate of spirit. So if you have this colored in, right, or you've got the 39 and you don't have the 55, it's going to activate this. Or you got the 35, right? You got the 35, and then it's going to hook up to that 36, right? Or the 4037. One of these that makes this colored in, basically you're going to feel this 55 transit. So this is the gate of spirit, right? And it's about abundance. And the teaching here, 55 is very, very important. What it teaches is that abundance, true abundance, is when your spirit gauge is up, 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 up. And scarcity and poverty is when that spirit is way, way, way down. Now I have the whole channel, 3955, so I know this really well. Plus, I'm a projector. So I notice, because my wave goes up and down, right? It's colored in clearly, is I live in paradise. I do. I'm not doing that to brag. It's just a fact. I live in paradise. It's very beautiful here, right? But sometimes when my wave is down, which means my spirit is down, I will drive down the hill and everything looks gray to me. Like not literally, but that's the mood, right? This 55 is about mood, right? And I'll say that to myself. I know this is paradise, but I do not see it today. I don't feel it today. And then there are other days I totally get it. It's like it's breathtaking, right? It's so beautiful. But it's really about my mood, right? So is the mood up or is the mood down? And it's going to affect how you see the world, right? It will affect your perception. So, of course, we want that spirit up, don't we? But sometimes it goes down. This is what we're learning with the 55. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, but don't let it affect your perception, right? So it's like inner weather. This is the inner weather. It's like an inner weather gate. Sometimes it's cloudy and sometimes it's sunny, right? But just know that this too shall pass, right? This too shall pass. To not get stuck on when it's really high or when it's really, really low. Just knowing when it's low, it's going to be high. Knowing when it's high, then eventually it will be a low. Just don't get attached to it, right? But enjoy it. It's not like don't enjoy it when it's high, but you can enjoy it when it's low too, because when it's low, it's very creative, right? It's very creative. It's acoustic, right? It's an individual gate. And you can go well if you have the whole channel, you can go really, really low. So what the fear is with this 55 and Saturn. So Saturn as a transit, now it's been in there for quite a while, right? Because it's in Pisces. As a transit, this is your punishment. This is where you get a spanking, right? Saturn, when you're not operating as yourself. Now, I don't have clearly I can't do every person's unique chart to be watching this, but I'm just doing like overall general for projectors. So this would be like I'm not waiting to be recognized. I'm trying to be a manifester, so I'm initiating left and right, or I'm trying to be a generator and I'm responding yes or no. That's not you, right? So if you're not operating correctly, you're out there initiating, responding, is you're going to feel bitter, right? And what's going to happen with the Saturn is going to do a trip on you. It's going to play with you with your moods, right? And it's going to put you in a low mood, right? So this means your attitude changes. Your attitude changes. This could affect your it's abundance, right? So it could affect your finances. It could affect your finances. They start to deplete. They start to go down, right? Because the reflection, right? It's the reflection of the scarcity that you feel inside because your glass is half full. That's how you're seeing it, or empty. My glass is half empty. And I'm afraid that life won't replenish it, right? So I'm this fear of emptiness. And of course, that's what gets sent out, right? As a frequency. So that scarcity that you feel inside, there's no invitations, I'm not feeling recognized. Will an invitation ever come for me? The glass is half empty, doom and gloom, right? That's when you know Saturn's got you. So you want to start right away operating correctly, valuing yourself, right? Valuing yourself. You're only 20% of the world. and you're the new leader. The new leaders of the Aquarian age and the sleeping Phoenix are these projectors, right? So valuing yourself, valuing your energy, not just giving it away, trying to get that cup full up, right? Trying to get that cup filled up by other people that are wrong for you, incorrect for you is dangerous, right? Look, absorbing aura, you absorb that energy. So with the 55.2, it's projection. So with the 5, you're being projected upon, but the 2 is this is the projection that you're sending out. And what are you sending out is I'm moody. I'm moody. I'm super happy on Tuesday, and then I'm down, Debbie Downer on Thursday. Right? So this is what you're projecting out. You may not even be aware of it, right? But that's a projection field with Saturn. And then what's going to happen with people? They're not going to trust you, right? So they don't trust you. Well, 1 minute she's really happy and got it all together, and then she's doom and gloom. A couple of days later, what's up with her? Is she stable? Like, I don't trust her. I don't think she can help me, right? She can't help me, right? So this is to be aware of this moody. So with this position in Saturn for the projectors, I would just mention to just to let people know, right? Be honest. The thing is, you can't hide anymore, right? We can't hide. The masks are coming off. And so you have to share with people. I'm just feeling a little bit low today. I don't know why. That immediately disarms people. It's kind of like a manifestor way, actually, in informing people, right? So letting people know what's going on with you, and this will help them trust you. Oh, they're real. They're being real. They're self-aware, right? Which isn't so easy for projectors, right? We're very, very interested in the other types. So just be aware of your moods and what you're sending out for this new moon. Or not pretending, right? Not being a fake and pretending that you're happy all the time. Because if you're not happy and you're saying you're happy, like your mouth can lie till the cows come home, but your energy can't lie, right? Okay, because it makes people uncomfortable with the second line. Yeah. Okay. Well, the other thing too is Saturn. The other lesson for the projector is to align yourself. Align yourself with people that nurture you, that fill up that cup. These are the people that are a little bit smarter than you. They have something to give to you, right? It's not just about taking. They're not about taking. So align yourself with the forces that fill up that cup for you. That would be really healthy for you. Or with the 55.2. That's what that's saying. And then there'll be some stability there with Saturn. And then you'll see that reflected in terms of your finances. Yeah, it's just really, I think it's a warning about who you're hanging out with because of this absorbing aura. You know, those people that you hang out with and they feel like you're completely drained when you leave. Yeah. Okay, anything else for projectors with the 55.2 Saturn and Pisces? No, that's it. Well, other than this is very creative, the 55 is creative. So if you are feeling low with the 55 in that position, that's a time for you just to be on your own and explore your creativity, not go into victim. right? That's the shadow victim, no victim. Just remember that you're free. Okay. Anything else for projectors? No, that's it. Okay, so let's end it with reflectors. And so you can roll a die for the reflector, our reflector friends, and see what message there is for this new moon for the reflectors. Okay. And they got the south node. The south node of the moon. So reflectors are 1%, and I love to hear the reflectors say that they're a reflector and own it and come out and be visible on the channel, in the information box. Okay, so they've got a resistant and sampling aura. They're following the moon cycles. And when they're not doing this, they'll feel disappointed. And it's really about groups of people, right? So this is protecting their resistant and sampling aura, protects them from drama, right? Those groups that are like a soap opera. There's drama after drama, and who's fighting with who, and right? You don't want that. That's the disappointment. You want to feel surprised as a reflector. So this is the south node of the moon, right? So right there, this is what we're letting go of, the 32.3. Now this is I talked about this gate a lot before, so let's do it. Let's do another perspective on this, right? So reflectors, so this is a third line, right? So third line, it's moved into the 3. Third lines are all about being in school. I'm in Earth school and I'm learning. And what are you learning? What doesn't work? What doesn't work? It doesn't work. Right? So it's fear of failure here. Fear of failure. So this is it's letting go. You may be experiencing this now, right? This is bonds made and broken. Bonds made and broken. This is just typical of the third line because you're learning, right? What doesn't work. And sometimes the bond, it's not, there's nothing there. There's no energy there. So the bond breaks. Relationships leave, right? Jobs leave. Experiences leave as a reflector because you're learning, right? You're learning with this bonds made and broken. So there could be fallout from that, right? So maybe you bond with a person with the 32.3, and then later it breaks, and there could be fallout from that. And this is the mind, right? So it could be projected onto you, or you're projecting it onto the other person. So you're trying to make an excuse with the mind, like they weren't loyal, or the mind does that, especially if you've got a karmic wound of rejection. Well, the sour grapes, right? Well, this is what's wrong with them, and that's what's wrong with them, and then you're in the mind and you're draining your energy, right? On that trip, when it's just mechanics, right? As a reflector, you're in that limo, right? You're driving along. There you are as a reflector, right? All these experiences and people are coming to you, and sometimes they break. So our conditioning is like, well, I had that friend since I was in elementary school, and we should always be friends. Or I'm married to that person for 25, 30 years, and I'm always supposed to be. This is the tribal consciousness that's breaking down. And this is about your spiritual journey, right? Your awakening process in this lifetime. And so some people come for a season. Some people come for a couple days. Some people are like marathon runners. They're with you right till the very end. You have no control over that. The mind has no control over that, right? So it could be like this fear of failure and, because it has to do with money too. So someone that you're in a relationship with money, um, like a boss, the 32 could be a boss for sure, right? Somebody that, or a husband, wife that's holding the purse strings, right? So there could be this addition of like this fear of survival, right? Coming up, but the bond is breaking. So if the bond is breaking for you, reflector, know that it's not personal. You can't control what's happening. We're going through such great change as we come up to 2027. Yeah. So it can also bring indecision for you, flip-flopping, right? So you're flip-flopping. Can I do this with this person? Right? Can this person help me? Right? No, they can't help me. And then the back and forth. This is typical of the 32.3. And this is what you want to let go of, right? With the self node, this is all about your past. So it's all about embracing the 42, which is about the new, right? The new. So the 42.3 is also, it's actually called trial and error, right? Trial and error. And this is about not being afraid, right? To let go of your fear when you embrace, because this is where we're called to go. 42.3 is fear of making mistakes, right? Fear of making mistakes. So that's the hurdle that you've got to get over, right? The 3, if you're a third line profile, you got to get over this quick, right? Fear of making mistakes. This is how we learn, right? This is how we learn and how we grow. This is how we evolve, right? We make mistakes. We learn what didn't work. We discover, right? So there's no such word in human design as mistake. We discover, right? Even though it looks like we made a mistake, we're discovering something. And it's not necessarily a bad thing when a bond breaks, right? It's just like when we get sick. If there's a thing that we're really afraid of, right? Is we get an illness, we get sick. Is that a mistake? Is that a bad thing? No, it's not a bad thing, right? We get an illness, it strengthens our immune system. Isn't that interesting too, right? The 44 and the 26 in particular, that's the T cells. This is the immune system. That's the moon, right? So it strengthens our immune system. And then afterwards, we get so much stronger. It strengthens us. It strengthens our health to go through an obstacle where some would say, oh, that's a mistake. We got to protect you from this illness, right? You can't get uncomfortable. God forbid you get uncomfortable, right? Here's some pills. No, this is all serving you to strengthen you, right? So reflectors, look at what you see as a mistake, right? As a mistake. And it has to do with a bond breaking. Some kind of bond is breaking in your life for this new moon. And then reframe it, right? And reframe it. And like the divine is in charge, not me. I'm not in charge. The divine is in charge. Yeah. What else? Yeah, and just right with because it's the fear of the past here too, and fear of failure can make you cautious. So just be aware of that. Oh, I'm feeling a little bit cautious, but it's time to move forward in my life as a reflector. And also with the third line, because each line resonates with the other, right? So you got the 1, the 4, and then you got the 2 and the 5, and then you got the 3 and the 6. So that third line resonates with the 6th line. So this mutative, right? It's a mutation this 42.3 and 32.3 in a very mutative time here. So not afraid of making mistakes when things go awry, when things don't work out. Anything else for the reflectors? I think that's it. Okay, everybody. So that's what I have for you. And a big reminder that the spiritual retreat is starting tomorrow. People are coming in. December 8th to the 10th. This is spiritual rebirth. This is death and dying. There's a whole huge bunch of teachings according to human design on death and dying. So the entrance into this plane is just as important as the exit out of this plane. And so what I've been reading is that there's a caution. If we don't exit properly, we can kind of get stuck somewhere. You know, of course, we're all going to end up in the same place eventually, but just to have this knowledge of, and we're all with Neptune, stationary direct, the veil is getting thinner. So there's these other entities that live at the same vibration as we do, but we're not aware of them. Well, we're going to become more and more aware of them. And these are these discarnate entities, right? Ghosts, aliens, right? Other entity and divine entities, angels, things like that. Well, we can kind of get trapped there if we don't have this knowledge. So again, the voice, this is where Ra got the download. And he kind of said he received this information kind of as like a gift. Here, have this, because it's kind of your last ride, right? In this lifetime. So he said, you want to have the correct ride for you. So you want to be exiting properly too, just as well as entering properly. So it's really fascinating information. So I'll be sharing that. And then, of course, powerful Kundalini yoga meditations, all on death and dying, and then a spiritual rebirth, and deep and heavy, if you like that. If you got Scorpio placement, you'll be totally into this. Okay, so there's still time to sign up. It's like the whole weekend, right? So I hope some more people join in. But otherwise, that's what I'll be working on this weekend. This is Rebirth. Okay, so everybody take care and have a great new moon. And I'm not sure. No, I'll be every Thursday. Yeah, that seems to be my rhythm. Okay, so namalo, everybody. Take care. Okay.